spray paint to vandalize and make a statement. People in Southern California are getting notes on their Teslas, calling them complicit Nazis for owning electric cars.
What if I told you that Tesla, the dominant player in the electric vehicle market, could soon lose its leading position? What if Toyota, the old giant that has long shunned the world of electric cars, is now ready to surge ahead and overtake not only Tesla, but Elon Musk himself? This is not fantasy, but a real threat to Tesla's future.
Does that help Tesla? I mean, you had Tim Waltz, who's a huge jerk,
Let's start with the fact that Tesla has long been synonymous with innovation. Elon Musk, who created not just a car but a whole lifestyle, has attracted millions of people around the world. Tesla has taken the lead, and its cars have become not only a symbol of the future, but also the benchmark in the world of electric vehicles. But what will happen if this market suddenly becomes even more competitive and competitors start offering solutions that could shake up the entire industry?
Running around on stage with a Tesla stock price, where the stock price had gone in half. And he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do. What a creep. What a jerk. Like, who derives joy?
Here's what's interesting. Toyota has taken a slow but steady approach to creating electric cars. And it hasn't just created them, it's already preparing to release models that could put Tesla on the brink of defeat. Imagine that Toyota is betting on completely new technologies that Tesla hasn't even dreamed of yet. These aren't just electric cars, they're a whole revolution in energy sources.
Well, this feels more like a Tesla-only story when you look at just this fall in EV sales for them, that they're suffering across Europe, down 45% in January. The wider EV market in Europe up 37%, so rivals are catching up and performing.
Toyota's main trump card is solid-state batteries, which promise to be much safer, more efficient, and cheaper than those used by Tesla. While Tesla continues to develop lithium-ion batteries, Toyota is preparing to release solid-state batteries that can give cars twice the range on a single charge. This is a real breakthrough that could change everything. Batteries that are not prone to overheating, are durable, and can be charged in minutes are the future that Toyota is ready to bring to life today.
Well, you will hear people over in Europe say the new Model Y, the Juniper, could be a difference maker, but that's been in that market now for more than a month. And you would think that you would see a greater snapback if it's going to be a difference maker. Look, we could be wrong. It could be a difference maker once you get the sales for April, May, and June. But when you have a country like Norway, I think the sales were down something like 11% there. I mean, that's a very savvy EV consumer in Norway. And that's long been a strength for Tesla. Very small market, not huge volume, but I think almost all of the vehicles they sell there are electric. And they embraced Tesla long before others. And, the reports there are not encouraging.
But that's not all. While Tesla is promoting the concept of fully electric cars, Toyota is betting on alternative energy sources. One of the most ambitious projects is hydrogen fuel. While the world is stuck in the search for better batteries, Toyota is already testing hydrogen cars that could pose a real threat to all electric cars. And if hydrogen cars prove to be as successful as Toyota engineers promise, it could turn the market as we know it upside down.
We've accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
He praised all the domestic actions he has taken so far on immigration.
And I deployed the U.S. military and border patrol to repel the invasion of our country.
And spending cuts.
We are draining the swamp. It's very simple.
Could Tesla, which seemed unbeatable, lose its throne? Will Elon Musk find a solution to the new challenges? Or will we witness the biggest technological battle of the century in the coming years? This is just the beginning. Stay tuned to find out what happens next.
I mean, the things that he's doing is not trying to make America better. He's ruining our infrastructure, every department in our government. He's ruining, and he's right now destroying our economy. He's taken away all of our allies. We're a pariah in the world.
The electric revolution on the world's roads has become an integral part of everyday life, but not everyone realizes how close the battle for leadership in this segment is. For years, Tesla has been a symbol of the future. Musk and his team changed the perception of what the car of the future could look like by introducing electric vehicles that not only embodied technological progress, but also became a status symbol. However, despite Tesla's success, the threat from old, long-established players such as Toyota has never been so palpable.
A 371, most were saying 350 to 360. Now they're coming in at 336,068. Production of 362, 615. So for some point of reference here, you're going back to Q2, maybe Q1 of 2022 in terms of the last time that they had production this or deliveries this low for one quarter. So again, Tesla deliveries worse than expected at just over 336,000 deliveries in the first quarter. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
That's horrible. Can I just ask Phil, how about the Cybertruck? How's that doing? You got a little inventory there in the Cybertruck?
Tesla began its journey with a revolution in the understanding of how cars can work and interact with the user. Since the launch of its first models in 2008, Elon Musk's company has conquered the market, turning electric cars into something more than just a means of transportation. Tesla introduced cars with a range that exceeded all expectations thanks to the use of lithium-ion batteries capable of providing tens of thousands of kilometers of charge. The Model S, Model 3, and Model X didn't just change the face of cars, they created a whole culture that includes not only a focus on innovative technology, but also a philosophy of sustainability.
After Trump imposed those sweeping 25% tariffs on aluminum and steel imports, the European Union retaliating with tariffs on up to $28 billion of U.S. goods. Trump making it clear this isn't over, vowing to respond in kind with sweeping retaliatory tariffs early next month.
They're doing what they should be doing, perhaps, for the European Union, but it does create ill will. And as you know, we're going to be doing reciprocal tariffs. So whatever they charge us, we're charging them.
Canada also striking back with new tariffs on $20 billion worth of U.S. goods, mostly steel and aluminum, but also computers and sporting goods.
But then Toyota came along, a company that had steadily held its position in the automotive market for decades, but had not been noticed in the electric vehicle race. However, everything changed when the Japanese giant announced its decision to challenge Tesla. At first, it seemed like a minor threat, as Toyota had long adhered to more traditional methods, focusing on hybrid engines, such as in the Prius, rather than fully electric vehicles.
Back to the White House, that has been fueling this anger, this frustration, some even say disgust towards Musk, and they're taking it out on Tesla. Tesla now feeling the pain, but because of what's happening here in Europe, Tesla sales fell by nearly half across the continent just last month, 45%.
But everything changed when they began to invest heavily in the development of new battery technologies and alternative energy sources. Toyota realized that the future of cars lies not in lithium-ion batteries, but in more efficient and safer solutions.
Worse than expected, 336 and 68 vehicles, 336,068 vehicles delivered in the first quarter for Tesla. For a point of reference, the street was expecting, the street account was expecting, based on analyst expectations.
The solid-state batteries developed by the company promised twice the range and several times less risk of overheating than traditional batteries. All this will allow Toyota to bring electric cars to the market that will not only compete with Tesla, but may also force the latter to reconsider its strategy. We are talking about models that can travel 1,000 kilometers on a single charge, with charging taking just a few minutes. You have to agree that this is a serious threat to a company that, despite its leadership, has not yet introduced a battery of this level.
That's from the European Automobile Manufacturers Association. People just choosing with their wallets to not buy Teslas because of that Musk-Trump association. And actually here in London, an activist group called Everyone Hates Elon actually have been hacking bus stop signs with posters. I actually passed one yesterday. First, I wasn't quite sure what was happening, but it said the words 0 to 1939 in 3 seconds. Illusion here, 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds or something. But this poster was alluding to the start of World War II, and the image was of Musk giving that hand salute that we saw at Trump's inauguration that many have attacked as a Nazi gesture. Musk, though, has neither admitted or denied what he was doing. But we're seeing the knock-on effect of that anti-Musk anger across Europe and in terms of sales.
But Toyota has not stopped there. The company has adopted another powerful tool, hydrogen cars. Despite its many years of development, this technology still remains in the shadow of electrification. However, Toyota is firmly committed to hydrogen technology, and here it may be one step ahead. If hydrogen cars prove as successful as experts predict, it will radically change the market, calling into question the future of all electric vehicles, including Tesla. Toyota has already tested several models with hydrogen fuel cells and announced plans to make them available to the mass market.
Outperforming as well in some cases, doing better than Tesla. And you just have to think, how much more is this a sustained issue for Tesla going forward, given the fact that you have Elon Musk, who's been very forthright in his opinions, particularly weighing in on politics, particularly in Europe. We've just had the European elections, which Musk has been very focused on. But across the piece, when you look at the performance for Tesla in Europe, it's not just in small countries. There are a lot of countries where Tesla has been performing badly, including in Germany, in the UK, where it has been lagging, and Spain as well.
The intrigue lies in the fact that the future of these two companies may depend not only on which one is faster to release new models, but also on which one is the first to master the technologies that will define the market for decades to come. While Tesla continues to rely on lithium-ion batteries and refine its charging and autonomous driving technologies, Toyota may already be several steps ahead thanks to its focus on solid-state batteries and hydrogen fuel. But the competition will not only be in technology, but also in strategic decisions. For example, Tesla has yet to commit to major investments in alternative energy sources, unlike Toyota, which is actively developing hydrogen infrastructure.
Over the last couple of months. But the other thing that this could potentially be is an attempt at readjustment or correction by the Trump administration, in that one of Trump's closest kind of allies and supporters, and someone who's clearly very influential in the administration, is coming out to kind of push back against the recently implemented policies. So I'm thinking, or maybe hopeful is the right word, that this might be a signal that the administration is considering walking back some of those policies.
Few doubt that Tesla will continue to expand its horizons, but in order to maintain its position, Elon Musk and his team will not only have to improve their model, but also fight for dominance in the field of new energy sources, where competitors such as Toyota have already begun to buy up technology startups and patents. Toyota is already preparing to launch models that can offer consumers not only high technology but also more affordable solutions.
Canada, the largest supplier of steel to the U.S., slapping new tariffs on $20 billion worth of U.S. goods that are sold in Canada. And the 27 countries of the European Union imposing retaliatory tariffs on up to $28 billion worth of U.S. goods sold in Europe, including Harley-Davidson motorcycles and Kentucky bourbon. President Trump with the Irish Prime Minister visiting the White House today. The president suggesting his tariffs won't stop here, saying, "Of course, I'm going to respond." And tonight, right here, the new poll showing 56% of Americans disapprove of President Trump's handling of the economy. The number's even worse now on the president's tariffs.
Looking at how things are developing, it can be concluded that Tesla is no longer the only player in the field. Meet the new contender for the crown in the world of electric vehicles and hybrid solutions. In the coming years, we will see an incredible battle in which some companies will fight for the best battery quality, others for faster charging, and still others for the introduction of hydrogen technologies that could change the very paradigm of the automotive world. And despite all of Tesla's achievements, Toyota may be poised to take the podium if it can stay ahead of its competitors in the race for innovation.
Hey Diane, this investigation really just beginning, and one of the key elements will of course be the surveillance video. And investigators potentially have a lot of it to work with as they try to figure out what caused this fire. We know that surveillance footage has been turned over, including video from each of the cars, which could prove vital to understanding what happened here, because each vehicle has its own camera system that works even when the car is off. And 16 cars burned in this fire. And right now, investigators don't know what caused it.
When Toyota announced its intentions to compete for leadership in the electric vehicle world, few took it seriously. Tesla had long established itself as an innovator, with numerous models that attracted the attention of buyers and investors every year. However, Toyota, with its many years of experience in the automotive industry, brought to the market not only new electric vehicles but also unique technologies that could radically change the status quo.
but they are not ruling out the possibility that this was arson. At the same time, as you just mentioned, there are groups that have been organizing ongoing and peaceful protests at Tesla dealerships around the world. These demonstrations targeting Elon Musk and his affiliation with the Trump administration. Also, Italy's prime minister is said to be close friends with Musk, and there were reports that Teslas have been vandalized in her hometown in Italy. Diane.
In 2025, Toyota unveiled its first mass-produced electric vehicle using solid-state batteries. This technology, which promised to significantly increase the range on a single charge and reduce charging time to a few minutes, was a real breakthrough. Although Tesla had already attempted to introduce new battery technologies, its efforts were met with numerous difficulties. Unlike Tesla, Toyota invested in the development of its own solid-state batteries from the outset, and they are now beginning to enter the market. The technology, which was in the testing phase a few years ago, is now ready for mass production. Toyota's batteries can provide vehicles with a range of up to 1,000 kilometers on a single charge, twice as much as most electric vehicles with lithium-ion batteries.
KTLA Samantha Cortese joins us live with more on the wave of vandalism in protest of Elon Musk and his role in Washington. Sam?
Hi, Sharon, Micah. The ATF and FBI are collaborating with federal, state, and local law enforcement to investigate acts of domestic terrorism surrounding Teslas.
Every year, the battle for leadership in the electric vehicle market becomes more intense, and now is the time for Tesla to be ready for serious challenges. Until recently, they dominated the market thanks to their innovative approach and advanced technologies, but Toyota is slowly but surely preparing to threaten this status quo. The company has already unveiled solutions that could force Tesla to rethink its strategy. The intrigue lies not only in the new technologies, but also in how these innovations could impact the future of the entire automotive market. From the moment Toyota announced its ambitions in the field of electric vehicles and alternative energy sources, it became clear that competition with Tesla was taking on a whole new dimension. The main problem for Tesla has always been not only the need to improve battery efficiency, but also the issue of charging infrastructure. The problem with charging stations, especially in remote areas, continues to be a significant barrier to the wider adoption of electric vehicles. While Tesla is striving to roll out a network of supercharging stations around the world, Toyota has begun investing in alternative energy sources such as hydrogen fuel cells. These solutions promise to radically change the paradigm itself, presenting new challenges for the market leader. Imagine that in the coming years, Toyota begins to introduce hydrogen cars in countries where the infrastructure for charging electric vehicles is not yet sufficiently developed. Hydrogen cars could be the solution that will allow us to bypass existing problems with charging stations. Unlike electric vehicles, hydrogen cars can be refueled in a matter of minutes, which is much more convenient than the lengthy charging process at electric charging stations. This is especially important in countries with a fragmented network of charging stations, where many drivers still face the problem of running out of fuel for their electric vehicles. But Toyota is not limiting itself to hydrogen cars. One of the company's major innovations is the creation of a new type of battery that could change the electric vehicle market. We are talking about solid-state batteries, which promise to double the range of electric vehicles and reduce charging times to a few minutes. Unlike the lithium-ion batteries used by Tesla, Toyota's solid-state batteries offer a number of advantages, such as a lower risk of overheating and increased safety. This makes the company's new cars not only more efficient but also significantly safer. If these technologies are implemented in mass production, Toyota will be one step ahead of Tesla in the field of batteries. These technological breakthroughs could influence the perception of electric and alternative energy vehicles. Hydrogen cars, along with solid-state batteries, allow Toyota to demonstrate its ability to operate not only within the limited electric vehicle niche, but also to create solutions for the entire market. Hydrogen cars and cars with solid-state batteries promise to be the very products that may dominate the market in the future. If Toyota continues to introduce new technologies, they will be able to challenge not only Tesla, but the entire automotive industry. On the other hand, it should not be forgotten that the future of Toyota and Tesla is linked not only to technology, but also to the environmental agenda. It is expected that in the coming years, governments around the world will tighten requirements for reducing carbon dioxide emissions. This means that companies that are unable to offer solutions for the transition to more environmentally friendly cars will be forced to either adapt to the new realities or face serious economic losses. In this context, Toyota's innovations look more promising, as hydrogen cars, for example, not only produce no carbon dioxide emissions, but are also more environmentally friendly than conventional electric cars. But let's return to the question of how competition between Toyota and Tesla will affect the market. It should not be forgotten that for Tesla, this also means adapting to new conditions and looking for new ways to maintain its leadership. While Elon Musk's company is increasingly relying on its battery technology, Toyota is expanding its production capacity for its innovative models every year. And if Tesla does not make significant strides in hydrogen technology or other energy sources soon, Toyota could indeed take the lead. The key difference between Toyota and Tesla is that the Japanese giant is not limited to just manufacturing cars. The company is actively working to create a hydrogen refueling infrastructure that could eventually span the globe. With an increase in the number of hydrogen stations, Toyota will be able to offer its cars not only in large cities, but also in remote regions where access to electric charging stations is limited. This will give the company a significant advantage in a market where electric vehicles are poorly represented in remote areas. So what does the future hold? There are increasing signs that Toyota is poised not only to compete with Tesla, but to become the player that will shape the future of the global automotive industry. Hydrogen cars, new batteries, and an environmental agenda all paint a picture of how Toyota could transform the market and maintain its leading role in sustainable transportation. Meanwhile, Tesla, which is used to being at the forefront of innovation, will face new challenges that will require flexibility and speed in decision-making. Ultimately, these decisions could be key to maintaining its leadership in the future.